welcome back to my welcome. My name is Jennifer, and I'm an integrative nutritionist and executive wellness coach, really on a mission to change how people eat, live, and do business. On this channel, we're going to be discussing holistic nutrition, mindset, lifestyle, so you can really be equipped with the knowledge that you need to create more balance in your life and ultimately become your best self through better health. And although January is technically not the new year, I know at the top of the year most people are wanting to make some changes. So I wanted to bring you part 2 of the 10 healthy habits that have changed my life. If you haven't watched part 1 already, make sure you go do that right after this. Part 1 is really a great intro or refresher if you're wanting to improve your current health. And part 2 really takes things to the next level, and I'm excited to share them with you today. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, these 10 habits are a natural progression once you've implemented part 1 into your day to day, and you're ready to really take things to the next level. These habits have really helped shape who I am today, not just personally, but also professionally. And they're such an intricate part of my life, I really don't know where I would be without them. So, first things first, number 1. Is you have to have a morning routine. So I've had a morning routine since I can remember, definitely before it became like a buzzword, and it really has done wonders for my life. Friends, I remember talking to old friends back in the day, and they would tell me how, their alarm clock would go off and, they would rush and then get ready and then out the door. And I was like, oh, that's not a way of living. And I don't like rushing in the morning. I like to take my time, and I typically give myself 2 hours to get ready in the morning. One of those hours being all to myself, where I can read, meditate, do yoga, etc. And it really gives me control over my day, and helps get things and the day started on the right track. Like I tell my clients, if you're not controlling your day, the day is controlling you, and we don't want that. So if you're not implementing a morning routine already, start one ASAP so you can get back control of your day. All right, moving on to number 2. So, number 2, this is something that I do within my morning routine, and it's daily meditation. All right, so I've been meditating for about 8 years now. And again, it's done wonders for my mental and emotional health. I started out with just 5 minutes a day, and now I can do really 30 minutes to an hour at a time, and it's amazing. It really is good. And so if you're just starting out or not really sure what meditation is, I'll be getting into that in another video. And there's also apps out there that you can download that can assist you on that journey. Just know meditation is a way to slow down. It's a way to quiet your mind. It's a way to increase your awareness, and I recommend at least 5 minutes of stillness a day, and then you can work your way up to that. So if you're not to 30 minutes to an hour, don't worry, just work your way up, and 5 minutes a day is a really good start. All right, moving on to number 3. So number 3 is something that I also do during my morning routine, and that's yoga. Oh, I love yoga so much. So I've been practicing yoga the same time basically that I started practicing meditation, which is about 8 years ago. I started, and first of all, yoga and meditation go hand in hand, because yoga is just another form of meditation, which again I'll discuss later. And I started practicing it because I was needing a more gentle form of movement that would increase my flexibility, because beating my body up, being an athlete, and just working out like crazy all throughout the years, my body was tight. My muscles were tight. I needed to loosen my muscles, increase my flexibility, and yoga was a great practice to start doing that. But there's a caveat, there's a side note to that. Yoga is not meant to be used for working out, okay? So unfortunately, the West has hijacked the practice, and I'll dive in that later. But for the sake of this video, I just wanted to share with you that it's a habit that I've practiced at least 3 times a week, and recommend you look into it if you haven't already. Like, I do yoga Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's just amazing. All right, moving on to number 4. So number 4 is spending time, and really it's one of my favorite things to do, is spending time in Mother Nature. So being an intuitive and an empath, I've always felt deeply connected to animals and Mother Nature. And so I love being outdoors. I love being with the elements. I typically spend around 15 to 30 minutes, if not more, outside on a daily basis. This can include, going for walks throughout the day, at the office or at the end of my day when I get home, or even on the weekends. And spending time with nature is really so calming. It's so relaxing, and I always feel just so refreshed and rejuvenated after spending time in the elements. So get outside and soak up all the benefits that Mother Nature has to offer, because you're going to feel better afterwards. All right. Now, moving on to number 5. So, number 5, is planning and organization. So maybe it's the Capricorn in me, but I really love structure. I love having a plan and being organized. It's helped me reduce my stress tremendously as a business owner, because being a business owner, you have to be organized and you have to plan. And it just really helps reduce stress overall and in general, right? So when you know where things are, you're prepared, you know where you're going. It makes things run smoothly, and again, it just reduces stress overall. And as I always say, like, anything in life is worth planning for, and so I have to remind my clients this when it comes to meal planning, or meal prepping, and even with financial planning, right? So if we'll get a financial planner. If you want your meals and nutrition better, you'll start meal planning, get a nutritionist, etc. Right? So planning and organization is a habit that you need to start implementing if you're not already. All right. Now, before we move on to number 6, do you see a pattern here? Right? Like, they all help you. These 5 that we've already gone over so far, help you reduce stress and help create more balance in one way or another, which is ultimately what we want. We want to keep our stress hormones at bay as best we can, because when your stress hormones are elevated, your body is all out of whack, and that's not what we don't want. That's not what we want. We don't want your body out of whack. We don't want your body out of balance. And these healthy habits that I'm sharing with you today just really help create more balance, reduce stress, and all of those things. So just wanted to reiterate that and just highlight that as we're moving on into the next 5. Okay, so there's a pattern here, and it's on purpose, right? All right, number 6. So number 6 is setting boundaries. Now, I might have a PhD when it comes to setting boundaries. I'm really good at this, and I've always been this way, and it has served me so well in my life. I'm very intentional not to overextend myself or do things that I frankly don't want to do, which keeps my stress and anxiety at bay. So get in the habit of considering yourself before saying yes to things. Make sure you're not overextending yourself. Make sure you actually want to do what you're saying yes to, and set those boundaries. I know that it can be difficult sometimes at first when you're not used to setting boundaries, but just get in the habit of saying no, right? And being okay with saying no, because that's perfectly fine. And as I shared in a previous video, the permission to pause, take note of those who are not respecting the boundaries that you're implementing, because those are the people that you don't want around you, okay? So number 6 is set those boundaries, all right? That's a great habit to implement. Number 7 is monitor distractions. And so monitoring distractions really takes discipline, especially in this day and age. And so being an athlete has really helped me in this department, and I'm forever grateful. However, you don't have to be an athlete to practice discipline, okay? Distractions can come in a multitude of things. It can come in people, it can come in your phone, it can come from social media, gossip, really anything that is not adding value into your life or taking away your focus from where you're going has got to go. Okay, so monitor those distractions and make it a habit to take note of what's taking your focus away and nip it in the bud. All right. Number 8. So number 8, and this is also a favorite of mine. I say all these are my favorite because honestly, when you see all these habit videos and whatever, they're saying do this and do that. Find what works for you, right? Like, so if something doesn't work for you, don't include it as a habit of yours. That's not for you. So these habits are what I love to do, and I'm just sharing them with you because they've made such a huge impact on my life. But really find what works for you, because that's how you're going to stick to it. All right. But anyway, moving on to number 8 is journaling. So I have been consistently journaling since I was like 10 or 11 years old in the 5th grade. And I literally just went back to my 5th grade journals, my 9th grade journals, or when I was in the 9th grade, to when I was in college and whatever. Like, journaling is such a therapeutic way to process your thoughts and emotions and really learn more about yourself and the different states that you were in over the years. Just looking back from my 5th grade journal to my 9th grade and to college and then all throughout my adulthood, it was just interesting to really reflect and see where my head was, what I was doing, all of those things. And so I really highly recommend journaling because It's therapeutic, it's decompressing, and it's amazing. You can really learn about a lot about yourself through journaling over the years. All right, number 9. So number 9 is daily reading. So I've also been an avid reader since a young age too. You remember the book fairs? Like I used to love going to book fairs, all of that. I remember the Bernstein Bears the day, right? And so this is carried over into my adulthood, and I've accumulated a nice little library that I really love. And I read in the morning during my morning routine or at lunch to really take a break from the screens. Or at night to kind of end my night. And so there really isn't a day that I'm not reading. And I prefer physical books to audio or audible because there's just something comforting about having a book in your hand, a physical copy that you can reference later. And I'm also a highlighter. Like I love to highlight. And, not only is reading decompressing, it increases your knowledge, it gives you different perspectives, and just reading is just awesome. So I just really love it. It's a great way to, increase your knowledge, gain different perspectives, learn. And so reading is a daily habit that I have, and I just love it. I recommend you do the same. Now, last but not least, this is certainly not last for whatever, because this is one of my favorite things to do, and that is spending time alone. So as an introvert, I love to spend time alone, and not just love, like I have to spend time alone. I recharge by myself, and I'm sure other introverts, you can agree. Being alone allows time for introspective, it allows time for reflection, really developing a deeper connection with yourself, your body, its messages, its signals. And if you can't spend time alone, because I know a lot of people don't like to spend time alone, then if you don't like, because a lot of people don't like themselves, then again, how can someone else like you if you don't like yourself? So learn to spend more time alone. Start in small increments, but it really does wonders for you when you're just spending time alone. You can reflect, go introspective, and all of those things. Okay, so that's all 10 of part 2. I think as I was doing this, I might need to do a part 3 because I actually have a ton of healthy habits that have made a huge impact in my life for the better. So I may do a part 3, so be on the lookout for that. And now that you have more insight on some of my other healthy habits that have changed my life, I'm really curious to know, like, if you're already implementing some of these, how are they working for you? And if not, like, has this video motivated you to start something new, right? So I think that's it for today. Don't forget to check out part 1 if you haven't already. So go watch part 1. Start implementing these, the ones that work for you. And I promise you're going to feel better. You're going to be less stressed, and you're going to have more balance in your life, okay? That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.